Hey everybody, it's Patrick. It's Thursday, so I'm here to bring you a 3-ingredient recipe. This week we're doing it a little bit differently. I have asked 2 other small YouTube cooking channels if they would join me in making some snacks for our viewers. So we are going to each collaborate. Each one of us is going to link to the others. So down in the description box below, you will find the 2 other channels that are collaborating on this project. Larissa's Kitchen and Colin's Cooking Channel. I have been in contact with both of them for a number of months now. They're great cooks. They make some wonderful recipes. And we talked a little bit on Twitter and said, what could we make that we could each take our own spin on it? I can make a 3-ingredient recipe. Colin, who is a chef from Scotland, can make his version of a recipe, and then Larisse, who makes these really wonderful, just flavorful dishes, can put her spin on it. And we decided that snacks would work really well. So check out their channels below, and I'm also going to put links to their videos down below afterward. I think that they're each going to put them up next week, a little bit after me. So the links to the actual episode of that video is going to be up a little bit later, but come back and check that out. And please check out their channels. They do a really, really great job. They're actual cooks, whereas I just make recipes that are easy to make. So why don't I get started on the recipe? We're gonna... Oh, hey Louise, how you doing? Oh, yep. So I was going to make a 3-ingredient recipe. Did you want to hang out and help me with that?
Sure, I'm hungry.
Oh, wait, you talk?
Of course.
I've never heard you talk before. You've been on George before, and you've never talked before.
Are you the king of continuity?
She has a point. Why don't
I talk when I want to.
I guess you do.
I'm very proud of being a chicken who talks.
Talking chicken is something that a lot of people haven't seen on YouTube, I'm sure.
Well, it depends on the channel they're on, I guess.
That's true. Well, we are going to make 3-ingredient roasted chickpeas. What do you think about that?
The chicken and the chickpea.
The chicken and the chickpea. It was like its fate.
Like it.
Perfect. Why don't we get to the ingredients? If you're going to be making roasted chickpeas, what do you think your first ingredient is?
I'm gonna guess chickpeas.
Chickpeas. They're also called garbanzo beans.
Didn't you make these garbanzo beans a couple weeks ago?
We did. We made hummus.
The camel?
Yep. Timothy and I made hummus.
Hummus?
Yep. That's a softened, pureed chickpea dish.
That's not what we're having today, though, right?
Nope. We are going to roast these chickpeas.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to use 1 can of chickpeas or garbanzo bean. That is, let's see, 15 ounces. You can also buy these dried and soak them overnight, and they'll work just as well. Now, to get your chickpeas crispy in the oven, you're going to want to use a little bit of olive oil.
Olive oil.
Yep. Olive oil or...
Olives and beans.
Olives and beans.
Olives and beans.
You can use other oils if you like to. Just make sure that it's an oil that can hold up to the high temperatures. Canola oil works just as well. Corn oil, you don't want to use anything like sesame oil or anything that is meant for lower temperatures or has too much of a strong taste to it. We are going to use a few tablespoons of this. We're just basically going to coat the chickpeas in that before they go in the oven.
And the final ingredient is
garlic salt.
What's wrong with the regular salt?
You can use regular salt, or you can use salt and pepper. You can use chili powder. Basically, any spice you like.
Can you use garlic cloves?
Well, not really, because they have to stick to the chickpeas.
Oh.
So any sort of spice that's in a powder...
A dry spice.
A dry spice. Any sort of dry spice is going to work really well. Or you may even be able to use something sweet. I could see a cinnamon sugar chickpea. That would work just fine.
That could be interesting.
Yep.
Sweet.
We're just going to use a few dashes of this over the top just before we put it in the oven. To start, we're going to just drain our chickpeas, and then we're going to give them a rinse to get the juice that was in the can off of the beans so that they are really nicely clean and ready to go in the oven. Next, you're going to want to pour your drained, rinsed chickpeas into some paper towels and pat them as dry as possible. You want to get rid of as much moisture as possible so that they can dry out and get crunchy when they're in the oven. Once you've dried your chickpeas, you want to spread them out in an even layer on some aluminum foil on a baking sheet. Make sure that these are really spread out. The more surface area you can get on these, the crispier they will get, and you also will hit them with more seasoning. And now I'm just going to pour my olive oil over the chickpeas. You don't want to douse them in this olive oil. Basically what you want to do is get enough to just coat them on all sides and give the spices that you're going to use a little bit of something sticky, something a little bit wet to stick to. At this point, you may want to just roll these around in the oil. This will coat all of the chickpeas really well, and that oil is going to help them crisp up when you pop them in the oven. And now we're just going to use whatever seasoning you have. We have garlic salt here. You can use chili powder, you can use onion salt, you can just use salt and pepper. Whatever you want your snack to taste like, just sprinkle that over the top. Don't go too crazy because you can always season more when you take it out of the oven, but it's really hard to make it seasoned less. And that's it. This is ready to go into a 400-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. Rotate it a couple of times so that they cook evenly. You may want to stir this around so that all of the chickpea surface area gets crispy. Take it out when they've turned brown and are crispy. I've lined a cooling rack with paper towels. This is to drain the oil that's left on the chickpeas after it comes out of the oven. As you can see, these chickpeas have gotten really, really dark brown. Some of them are a little burnt, that's fine. They have a crispy exterior and a nice soft interior. It's really, really a delicious flavor. They taste like garlic salt, and they'll make a perfect snack after they've cooled down a little bit. Or you can even eat them hot right out of the oven. Just make sure that you blow on them a little bit, cool them down a little bit so you don't burn your mouth. As soon as these are cooled down a little bit, they'll be ready to serve. Oh my goodness, Louise. Wow, look at that. I guess you were hungry.
I told you.
Well, what do you think of them?
Excuse me.
Yep.
Garlicky.
They are garlicky. We put on a lot of... Wow. I'm going to have to clean the floor. And they're crunchy. Mm-hmm. And one other thing with this is they are 100% vegan. We used no animal products for these. And they're also good for you. There's a lot of protein in chickpeas. There's not a lot of fat, even though we did put olive oil on it. We don't use too much. It's a great snack. They keep for a couple of days if you put them in a sealed container. And they're a great snack to make for a party or just to bring to lunch or to dinner with you when you go to work. And
I'll clean it up later.
Okay. Well, Louise, did you have a good time while we did a 3-ingredient recipe? Louise, did you have a good time? I don't know.
I'm using the closed caption here.
Oh, I see. I see. Fantastic.
It's for the chicken viewers.
Oh, okay. Well, if you are a chicken viewer and you enjoyed this 3-ingredient recipe, why don't you leave a comment down below? You can either cluck or you can use English or whatever language you use. We are here every Thursday with another 3-ingredient recipe. Please do check out Colin's Cooking Channel and Larissa's Kitchen. They are fantastic channels. I really recommend them.
Yes, check them out.
Check them
out. They're really
buck. Yes, they are very buck.
No, buck.
I don't speak your language as well as you speak mine.
Can't have everything.
If you'd like, just subscribe, hang out with us. We're here every Thursday with a new 3-ingredient recipe. I'm always joined by somebody new. This week was Louise. It could be anybody else next week. And on weekends, our friend George, you've been on George's show.
Of course.
Yep, he talks about good self-esteem. And on Tuesdays, I'm here talking about long hair. And then every once in a while, we upload other videos here on this channel. So we'd love to have you as subscribers. Comment, share with your friends, give it a like if you like it. Until then, we will see you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And the last ingredient
Is garlic salt.
What's wrong with regular salt? Can we try that again?
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't help to not have a script.